yet.
Oh no!
Somebody argue and prove me I'm wrong that Chick-fil-A's coffee is terrible
Compared to
Other fast food,
Really?
any other fast food
Anything.
coffee.
I really don't get fast food coffee.
any K
anymore.
cup,
McDonald's has decent coffee.
Dunkin',
Yeah.
you name it, it doesn't matter.
I guess Dunkin' would probably be the last.
I've had better coffee at a concession stand at Parks and Rec.
Wow.
That's some community coffee.
With Linda back there
Yeah.
with just the Maxwell House pouring it in.
Linda's love in that Folgers, baby.
Yeah.
Linda's love.
Because this is bad.
What do you think? They just probably let it sit, like they just make one giant one.
I don't
for the
know
day?
what it is. It's just not good. It's
May
real
just be
like
the actual coffee they use.
it's just bitter.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just bitter and
I bet their coffee grains come from Cali.
Now,
they
who
do,
has?
they do have a burnt taste.
Do they really?
Oh, God.
Oh my! I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb.
Stupid.
Really? Oh, you mean?
So who Jeff has the best fast food coffee?
Well, I don't know if you'd consider it fast food. I mean, obviously my favorite's Dunkin'.
Okay.
Right.
But I don't know if that's really considered fast food. But I mean, have a drive-through.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, they do have a drive-through.
I mean,
McDonald's isn't
McDonald's
bad.
has good coffee.
Yeah, McDonald's has
Decent
good coffee. But I mean, they have
As far as
they
coffee
have like
goes.
just good, decent black coffee. Now,
right. Yeah, you can't do all the other shit. Like,
but
it's
I
just gotta be
like.
black coffee.
Now I've gotten an iced coffee at McDonald's and they just screwed it all up.
Really?
If I'm gonna get an iced coffee, I go to Dunkin'.
Right.
But
I'm not, so I don't drink a lot of coffee from, like, if I'm getting breakfast somewhere, I almost never get coffee. I just get a Coke because coffee's so hit or miss at fast food restaurants.
yeah, it is.
Right. Right.
So I don't drink. Now, Carrie drinks coffee 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. She is a true coffee drinker.
True that.
They say people that do that tend to be more successful.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
She's great. She's
I
awesome.
mean, think about it. I
Carrie.
don't know.
She landed a mark.
That's dang right she did.
Well, I'll be asking, how much coffee did you drink?
I don't drink any. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm working with over here. I drink no coffee.
Just high octane energy drink.
But I do like the
Yeah, just a little testosterone and caffeine, baby.
I do
just
the K-cups every morning.
300
fucking
milligrams.
dream. Oh wait,
300
damn.
milligrams of natural caffeine.
Now, what is that? Is that
It's a rain.
Rain, yeah.
okay?
White gummy bear.
Is that like a monster?
It's a little bit. It's like,
Like a bang, huh?
yeah, it's like a bang. A monster has about what 120, 180.
Something like that. But the difference for me is where they source their B12, because some companies source it from literal like sewage waste. That's true. They source.
Are
their
you
B12.
trying to
I swear to
ruin
God. No,
my
rain
rain?
doesn't. Bang, rain doesn't. Bang. I still drink Monsters, but I try not to. Bang doesn't. Rain doesn't. What's the other one? And I think what's the one that has the one I love? The one that has like Skittles.
Alani?
Was it no the
The Aloha's.
C4?
C4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those don't. They source their B12 from smart places and not sewage. Look it up.
Okay, I absolutely will. I
Fact
will.
check that shit.
I will.
Yeah, because you can get B12.
I absolutely will look it up, Eddie Bravo. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I will. I'll look
Thank
it
me
up.
later.
You guys ever
yeah.
taken a B12 shot?
Yeah, I do. I
they
take
help?
them. Yes.
They do?
Yeah, I got one. I haven't gotten as many as I probably should. I could probably
Was
use
it just
them a
give
lot
you
better.
energy? I've heard people say they do that for energy.
Yeah, it's for
Energy. Yeah, it's just overall feeling good.
yeah focus.
I'm
all that kind of
deficient.
stuff.
Carrie and I both are B12 deficient.
You gotta get a little dirt in your food.
How do you?
Right, maybe I need the sewage.
Can they check that when they
monster.
do like your blood work and stuff?
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
I guess I need to get.
It probably already is checked. You just have to look at it.
Those fusion places do B12,
Yeah.
IV, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
you
they'll
just
make
go
you
in there,
feel good.
pay like they'll help you out the next morning, that kind of deal.
Yeah, the hungover morning after thing.
Do they have one around here?
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. There's one in Bremen. There's
I didn't know that.
you just have to Google which ones are. I think that Genesis and shout out to Genesis. Right next to Headliners, which I would like to shout out. They do they're like a spa therapy type place or whatever, and then they do the infusions, B12 and all that.
That's cool.
And on the B12 shot, I will say, I don't if I take like B12 supplements, I feel jittery compared to the shot. The shot I don't really feel. I'm just
same. I don't feel the shot at all. Yeah, Mo better.
Mo better.
But headliners in Carrollton. So real quick, little side quest. They let me get their thingy. So headliners in Carrollton is barbershop where a bunch of the guys and myself go to get your haircut. Mm-hmm. But they started a YouTube channel called Let's Cut Up, and they did episode 1 recently, and it's really good. Y'all go check it out. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but
We're getting sued.
we're getting pulled. But yeah,
They just mute us,
it's
Jeff.
really
They don't
good.
sue us.
Oh,
They
okay.
just mute us, so we
They
can't
suppress
talk.
us.
Yeah.
They've been suppressing our shit, dude. Like, am I getting bleeped every time I say fuck, shit, or fag, or cunt?
So I have been censoring you on our reels.
Oh, you have? Yeah. I knew you had
on our
been.
reels.
So is all that going to be like beep, 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 beep?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. There's different rules. Most of it is like the first 30 seconds can't have a big cuss word in it of the reel, or they won't suppress it.
Okay.
Or they'll suppress it if it does. And then the algorithms for all this stuff is really weird. TikTok has its own algorithm. YouTube, like we've had some TikToks do pretty well, and then the YouTube has like 4 views of the same exact video.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's
wild.
weird. I don't know why. I mean, same video, same title, same. It's released at exactly the same time. It's just different.
It's because TikTok doesn't suppress the same amount of shit.
Yeah, I don't know. They just do different stuff because they're, apparently they're Chinese, so different things matter to them. YouTube, different things matter to them. But yeah, So I have started censoring some words. I censored "kill" the other day, and it just to try to see if it would make any difference in some stuff, because I know some of them don't like "kill" and "gun" and all that stuff.
Yeah, you see guys on Instagram where they'll leave out stuff.
Yeah,
or they'll say something else, or even in the description they'll put
they
won't spell it out.
it.
Yeah,
I don't.
But I don't know that really matters. I really
like
don't.
any of that.
Well, I don't like it either.
I don't like
but
any of
it's-
that. I don't
that they
like
can
how they.
suppress you?
I don't like the whole he was unalived instead of saying he was killed.
yeah. I don't.
What, are we that soft of a damn society?
not about-
But in the same breath, they'll have
is,
complete Instagram pages devoted to like war killings and suicide.
Yeah.
Like you can see some people die on Instagram,
Well,
but you
they'll-
can't hear me say kill.
And I don't understand. They'll bleep out the F word, but they won't bleep out somebody saying GD. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
like what
Or
what-
shit.
What is the standard?
Why
Where
is fuck worse than shit?
I don't know.
Right?
But why? Where's the standard? Why is it?
I don't know.
And not even considered cuss words, but words like kill.
Yeah.
Suicide, kill,
Gun.
suicide, gun.
We're screwed. We're totally done right now. Our podcast got shut down.
See, all those words.
You guys have just been pew, 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 pew.
Sorry, that's not what was
Shooting
my-
out,
that wasn't my
we're-
intention,
We're 9 minutes in, and we have 8,000 bleeps right now. And
Well,
My bad.
people need to toughen up a little bit.
so and here's the hot take for me is I don't think it's people. I think it's them just reacting to. Okay, so I don't think it's the people necessarily making the videos, because I think everyone's doing just kind of like what we are, and they're reacting to whatever the algorithm says and trying to make sure their stuff gets pushed out there.
Yeah. They're just trying to play the game.
They're just trying to play the
Yeah,
game.
for sure.
But it's the people. It's the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain that's controlling the game that we have no idea really what the game is. So everybody's trying to change it and do their own thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird. The free speech, momentum that we've had, and then it's but you can't say certain. It's weird. It's weird that stuff like that gets played. And I get the content. And a lot of these platforms do allow kids like 12 years old on them.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, my 9-year-old could find some of the crazy shit I say if we just let him freely go on YouTube.
Yeah. But we do, like, for us, we do mark our stuff, all of our stuff as adult only.
True that.
Because we want to be responsible.
Parents, it's your fault if your kid listens.
Yeah, so if your kid listens to us, man, you're really messing. Like, parents don't let your kids listen to us. Like, at least wait until they're teenagers and figure it out on their own. Don't let your 12-year-old listen.
And if they do, just make sure they're a good person.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, make sure they're more like Jeff.
Yeah.
Than somebody.
You want something to look out.
Then
there.
Some other people that we know that might use the F word way too much. So if your kid starts using the F word after listening to the podcast, we're sorry.
It's in context though. Like if he,
contextually,
if he knocks his cup over and is like fuck, then hey man, tone it down. Like it's fine. He's still a good person. Easy. But if he's like fuck you, mom, like beat that little joker's ass. Just a little fun. Hey, you're welcome. Yeah.
Yes.
A verbal chewing. You know that there's these it's a weird jump from talking about kids, but there's these pages of these Instagram pages that basically all I do is track down pedophiles. And then that's what sounds a weird.
Speaking of kids, Jeff.
But
okay,
they track them down.
Wait, okay, pause for 1 second here,
but
because I gave Jeff such a hard time and called him a retarded deer.
Did you say that?
Yes, I did.
There's a buzzword that you just
know,
got us
can't
for.
say though.
That's another one. That's another one.
So.
Mentally challenged deer.
Paris asked me the other day or last night we were talking about something. She's like, "Hey, can we say retarded again yet?" And I said, "Paris, you do not go to school and say retarded anything. No, you can't." She's like, "Well, everything else is changing."
Look, context. If somebody's trying to like go down the hall and it's all packed up and they need to retard back out, they need to retard out of that hallway.
So anyway, all right. Yeah. So I gave Jeff a hard time for hard left turns, and you just went from talking about disciplining kids to pedophilia.
Connection. That's no hard left turn.
Jeff, can I get a ruling?
Well,
is that a hard left?
I mean, it's borderline timing.
Okay.
It's I understand.
I even said it wasn't the greatest of segues, but
he did preface it with,
okay,
this is a horrible segue.
All right, carry on.
But they on their page,
back to pedophiles. Go
on
ahead.
their page,
Kyle Camerino, pedophiles.
They play with the wordage too. Like you can't even say like pedophile. Right, so
that's weird.
It's like pedo, but they spell it wrong, and then it's oblivious pedos or something like that.
Huh?
Yeah, they won't say the word sex.
Yeah.
They won't.
And these guys, all their whole page, it's a ton of videos of them. Like basically, they set up some pervert online,
and they're not law enforcement.
No,
right?
They slap the shit out of them.
They're regular Joes.
Yeah. They
we're
set them
here
up
in Walmart with Randy.
Randy's a pedophile.
They got the mic. Like,
Yeah. And one of them's like, if they like don't just break down and start crying, and they get the shit smacked out of them.
Yeah, they go hard on them.
Yeah,
they're like,
there's one that's like he's like talking, puts his hand up, and the guy slaps his glasses, and they're like in a Walmart, and they fly off into the shelf, and he's like, "Now get your glasses." Now get out, and then they start. This is.
I am so.
Those guys are awesome. Like shout out to those guys.
That's just.
Why don't we do that?
I'll do it.
We can do that into our podcast.
Smack fuck out of one. I'm sure they had to have caught like a simple assault charge here and there.
Well, the ones I've seen that they didn't physically hurt them. They just basically said, like one guy they
totally outed him.
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
they
screamed it through.
Made him call his wife.
Oh wow!
They said you're going to call your wife and tell her, or we're about to call the police right now.
And then they call the police.
And they call the police.
I'm gonna call the cops. I'm gonna whoop your ass until they get here.
But hey man, listen, I'm all for that. I'm all for those guys.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Out them and do it all here local, right here in Carrollton.
Oh, what's going on everywhere.
Oh yeah. But you can take it a step further and
hang them.
That's several steps further, but
that's
sorry.
I think, but it did connect. It did line up.
Look, you guys are on one, both of y'all.
Just saying.
I mean,
But we can take it a step further.
I'm just trying to keep us in the guardrails, gentlemen. Just trying to keep us between the guardrails.
And catch them up at the square where all the college kids are,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And start catching guys that are in their late 20s and 30s trying to hit on these 18-year-old girls and shit like that. And then, I mean,
14.
Yeah, like
14-year-olds.
yeah.
Well, 18s are legal.
Yeah, they're allowed to do that.
I ain't saying it's right, but it is
That
legal.
is true. You're right.
They're
Yeah,
adults.
but there's plenty that are not supposed to be up there with fake IDs.
Yeah,
that
the
are way
ones you're
younger.
worried about are the ones that are wanting to screw a 13-year-old
Yeah.
boy.
And she says, "Hey, I'm mature, but I'm really 14. Is that going to be a problem?"
Yeah, that's what you'd have to do. It's like they'd have to disclose how old they are,
Yeah.
and then
in advance.
I don't
And
care
then-
if it's entrapment. I'm not the law, bitch. Like, whatever. I'm not the law. I'm just outing you and probably smacking the shit out of you.
Yeah, that's wild.
Right?
I think it's great. I mean,
I think it's awesome. I think
I'd like to see like a Sheriff Grady or somebody like that
Fun
get a hold
thing
of one
to
of those
do.
guys.
Speaking, I have a Sheriff Grady thing to talk about.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. That's,
can you imagine
y'all
him?
didn't even plan that.
we didn't plan that. That's
Well,
great.
might have,
Hey,
but-
no, I do. I have a Sheriff Grady thing, and I just all that's in my notes is Sheriff Grady. So, give me a second. Let me.
I wonder what he would do. Can you imagine those guys?
I mean, I imagine
All right,
he would.
I'm gonna play Sheriff
Just
Grady.
throw him in a room full of guys. That
Like, yeah, put him in regular pop and let him go.
yeah, because those guys have to have like there's prisons that they have to have special units for them.
That's what I'm saying. All right, play
A
it, Mark.
picture of a guy who you know has to have a hitch in his giddy up, just the way he looks. Look at there, old blue hair himself. That's right. Now, he's originally, I guess, from Washington County, Oregon, where he committed crimes against children. 5 counts of child abuse. That's right. So he moves to Lakeland, Florida, Jamestown Avenue in Lakeland. Well, we don't like child abusers from any place, no matter what color your hair is. But it makes you easier to identify if you'll color code yourself. Blue hair on a goober smoocher like this means there's outstanding child abuse warrants. Our team took him in custody, and Washington County, Oregon said, "Oh yeah, we want him. We're gonna come get him. He's out of the county. Good guys win again."
And here's the picture of him.
Let me see this guy.
Yeah. So
That's the thing about a lot of those videos. All those guys, let's just say just about all of them look exactly like you would think they would look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They all are.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similar traits. You know.
there is, but
There's warning signs.
the whole what would Sheriff Grady do? That's what Sheriff Grady does. He takes their picture, he makes fun of them, and calls them what was it, a goober smoocher?
Yeah, he did.
That's a new. No, I've never.
cops
growing
are creative like
bro,
that.
I've been in West Virginia. I grew up in West Virginia. I've never heard goober smoocher before. I don't know what that term is,
Yeah.
but
I
I
love
mean,
when,
it fits. It fits. What
it does.
The guy.
Does
The
fit.
reporter asked him why they shot the guy that shot the sheriff. Or he shot the deputy. Why he
Yeah.
shot him 65 times.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
told me it's because they ran out of ammo.
It's all the bullets that we had.
said-
Hey. It's all
Child
the bullets.
molesters.
Pedophiles.
And running out of
Speaking
bullets.
of, come on in.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not going to say who that was.
No.
No. But like, if you clearly are not like a pedophile or creepy dude, but you look like one, change your look. Like,
Yeah,
get
bro.
some better people. Like, hey man,
Yeah.
Well, that's when I think
got
you
that
got to
pedophile
go.
mustache
I
going
think
on.
you go back to the episode
Shaming.
before where we talked about, we were talking about the iron sharpens iron. That's where I hope you got a friend that will look at you and go, "Hey, man, you're giving off some creepy vibes, right? I mean, I love you, but you're scaring the kids.
Yeah, you look like you touch kids.
scaring the moms. Okay,
Yeah.
everybody's
Scaring
real
everybody.
nervous.
Don't be creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be weird. Just don't
be weird.
And look,
don't
a
be
lot
weird,
of
don't
times,
look weird.
and I'm not saying like prejudge people or whatever, but a lot of times where there's smoke, there's fire. Like it in my experience, it's lined up. Like
So, and I've been
and
around,
it may be a degrees,
right?
You know, but
And I have been around, people that, genuinely just love children. You know what I'm saying? Like you have like a, you care for kids, and sometimes like, I've been around people who. I'm thinking of one person in particular, and I'm not going to say this guy's name, but it was nothing bad. But I could see where, somebody might be like, if they didn't know this guy, you know what I'm saying? Like a mom might be like, hey, that's a little weird. Why is he talking to my kid? Or why? But if you know this guy, then you know that
he's just overly friendly.
Yeah, he's just friendly, and there's nothing to it. I mean, he wouldn't hurt a fly.
Did he carry candy around in his pocket?
Drive a white van.
I'm just, hey, little Johnny, you want a piece of candy?
Right, in the van.
Okay, what if there was a free candy van for you? What would it be to get you in the free candy van? What would get you?
Like bourbon and a steak.
Okay.
Something like that.
Jeff?
I'm going to have to think about that one.
Mine, it'd be a nap. It'd be a nap. free, at this point, yeah,
Lay down,
free naps.
free
naps.
nice, comfy,
nice cot with a nice, big old thick feather pillow.
nice little ambiance.
Yeah, a nice little ambiance.
Like
little
foot massages.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that'd be a hard one.
Free foot massages.
Yeah, just
Like free foot massage. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, hey, I'll sign up. And then next thing you know,
let's
I'm
go.
missing a kidney.
Yeah.
Damn it, they got my kidney.
So I'm in a third world country.
Yeah.
Coming out from anesthesia.
And I'm sold to some fat guy on a yacht.
Hey, wait. Where am I? Why does my side hurt?
Yeah.
Wait, that's the one with one kidney, right? Yeah.
What? I had two.
Got him with the foot massage.
Why are my wrists
Yeah, what'd you get him with?
why are my wrists handcuffed to my ankles?
Yeah, what'd you get that one with?
This is how we get your kidney. We go through your anus.
It's like it's like the joke the Dave made in the in the horseshoe group chat about TJ.
What did he?
TJ went in for knee surgery this week, and Dave said, "Hey, make sure they give you the free enema."
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's like, Dave, you're not supposed to tell him that in advance. It's a surprise. Surprise enema.
It's like, oh, bonus.
Yeah. TJ leaned into it way too much.
More like
You
pushed back to it.
Yeah.
But
pushed back.
Mark, one more thing, going back, not to jump off the Grady thing.
It's okay.
but
Come back.
you
back
could
in.
literally, I could spend all day watching Grady videos.
Oh, he's
Sheriff
great.
Grady.
He's great.
Really?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I've watched him. It's pretty
Dude,
funny.
he is almost like a movie character.
Yeah.
He's a personality for
Like,
sure.
I would like to see Billy Bob Thornton play.
Oh,
He needs his own movie.
Yeah.
you
He
could
needs his
literally.
own
Well, I mean, he's kind of like
Probably will have a movie.
He's a little bit like a real life, the whole Buford Pusser. You think about, who Buford Pusser was, right?
You know who Buford Pusser is?
Walking Tall. Remember the?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
he was a real sheriff, right? In
Right.
Tennessee.
Right.
That was a real guy.
Right.
And they made a movie about him, obviously, Walking Tall. But, if you go back and look, I mean, that was all based on a real person.
Yeah.
I knew it was a real person. I didn't know his name though.
Yeah, Buford Pusser.
I am so bad with names.
Yeah, he literally carried
I am so bad
like
with names.
wooden stick.
Like a 2x4?
Yeah, dude.
Really?
No, he jacked people up. he didn't care.
Yeah.
That was back in the day when cops could be cops.
Yeah.
True.
So, the early days, huh?
Carry the nightsticks.
There is something to be said about like ruling with an iron, what is it, an iron fist? Like,
Well, we're seeing it right now with Trump. I mean, you're seeing it. I mean,
kind of, but not to that degree. Those guys, they operated on
pretty close.
just whatever they wanted.
Tom Homan.
Tom Homan, he probably carried a nightstick.
I would say Tom Homan is literally ruling
Yeah, I
with an
had a
iron
cop
fist.
tell me they don't carry batons anymore, and I'm like,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah, because everybody else carries guns.
I get it, but they're not getting in a bunch of gunfights every day. I could use a baton.
Yeah, some of them do the retractable ones. Jordan doesn't carry
No, I don't think. Yeah, most of them I talk to don't kill. But also, it's looks really bad on camera.
It does look really
But
bad.
you just
on
use
camera.
it for like wedges.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and Jordan just does it. He doesn't like what the
Did you
the
delete
weight.
the Grady thing?
I did because we already covered it. I mean, I've got it.
Oh, no, it's fine. I just want to watch it. I can find it.
Yeah,
I was looking for it.
Oh, I sent it to you.
dude.
This is the.
Okay, thank you, buddy. I got it. Thank you. All right, hey, y'all, stay out of the way because they may be sparring. So if Ty starts up, you'll have a good show of people punching and kicking each other in the face.
Josie, okay? All right. Don't let her boss y'all around.
I told Josie fucking asked him, make sure they stay out of trouble, Josie.
It's so funny anytime Dominic is here because he finds a way to get in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Like anytime we're recording and he's here, like he finds an excuse.
That kid loves
Hey.
it.
I think we need to have a kids podcast.
Dude, TJ was saying the same thing, and we've talked about it before.
Dave's saying no.
Dude, can you know how funny that would be?
It would be hilarious.
You get
and nobody's doing it.
all right, you get Josie and Rhiannon on one mic.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yes.
I mean, them two alone.
No. And you get Dominic and Sonny and Penn asking them questions.
Oh, man. Yeah.
That'd be great.
You know, Rhiannon, I was telling TJ, Rhiannon came up to me about a week ago, and it was one night that Josie was not here. She wasn't feeling good. And as soon as I walk in, she comes up and she looks at me and she says, Mr. Jeff, where is Josie? And I said, well, and I started answering. She goes, I know. She's sick. And I said, yes, she's sick. And she said, well, I just want you to know I'm really tired of her not coming and being sick.
Wow.
Yeah, just laid it out there, man. I was like, I'm sorry. I was like literally apologizing to a 5-year-old. I'm like, I'm sorry.
No, I'll do anything you want me to do.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm sorry she's sick. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she literally answered my question before I could get it out.
Don't worry. I already know.
Yeah.
I already know.
I know.
Is that her way of telling you don't lie to me?
I think so. I think so.
Don't you lie to me, Jeffrey.
Don't you lie to me. I know the truth, sir.
Mr. Jeff, I already know.
I know.
I know.
But it was good stuff.
Where's Josie? And pretend like I already know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead, lie. Say it. Say it.
I'm going to tell you right now that I know the answer already. Like the times that Carrie has done that to, especially the boys were way dumber than Paris. That she has like black belt parenting them into telling them the truth. It's like, listen, I already know. Just go ahead and tell me.
Well,
and they're like, you know, especially Sam. Sam was the dumbest one. Sam was the dumbest one. He was so dumb when it came
Mom's
to that.
got a superpower.
Yes, and it took him until he was 22
he was like,
to
Dad
figure it
told
out.
her.
and then, you know, it puts me in a really bad spot because I'm sitting there and I have to act like, you know, look, he looks at me and I have to go, look, bro, I don't know. You need to talk to your mom.
I don't know.
I don't know how many times, Jeff, that she's did that to him. As soon as he gets home from school or as soon as he gets back from somewhere, she's just like, Sam, you gonna tell me what happened?
And she already knows.
No, she has no idea.
She has no idea.
Oh, she's
Just
totally
bluffing.
totally bluffing.
I got you. I got you.
Totally
Yeah.
making it up. And Sam's like, what?
Sorry.
You don't know nothing. How do you know anything? Yeah, I don't even. What are you talking about? And he gets, you know, everything starts talking fast. He starts talking faster, and then Carrie just doesn't let it go, and just like
Until he confesses
Like
to
now,
something.
she knows that
Mom, I'm
something happened. She knows something happened, and then just like drills into it.
That's so funny.
She's like, you think people don't call me and tell me stuff? You think I don't have people out there, Sam? You don't have people?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But Paris, it doesn't work. Paris, she's tried it with Paris a couple times, and Paris is like, Mom, listen, if you knew, I'd have gotten a text about it when I was at school. So I'm not telling you nothing. And she's like, I'm not telling you nothing. Paris is, she got it figured out. She is so smart. We were asking her about her grades. I was doing just a little touch base with her about her grades. And I said, hey, Paris, you know, how's your grades? We're talking about different classes. I said, how's your Spanish? And she says, I'm basically bilingual. And I was like, really? And she's like, I'm lying. I can say chicken. I said, okay, chicken, that's a thing. She said, and the only reason I was to say chicken is because that's what I order at Mexican restaurants. I order chicken quesadilla, so I know what it means. That's it. That's the only thing that's it. She's like, but I've got a 98 in the class. I was like, okay, all right, good job.
Yeah.
Why are we taking Spanish?
I never understood that. I took Spanish three years in high school, 3 years in college, and I couldn't say a word. I mean, I
Really?
nothing. I mean, I don't. It's just a joke.
So the ops manager that I'm working with at the site where I'm helping right now, she's bilingual. She's from Mexico originally, and we were having a conversation. I was on one end of the dock, she was on the other. I was trying to tell one of the guys that he just needed to go ahead and go to lunch, and I was on the phone with her, and I said, "Hey," I said, "I'm trying to tell Ricardo to go to lunch." His name is Ricardo. I'm not being racist. And she's like, "Oh, it's easy. She said, point to the break room and say luncho." And I said, "Okay, I got it." I said, "Ricardo, luncho." and she
That wasn't right at all, was it?
I think it is right.
I don't think that's how you say that. I think she set you up.
She set me up. And so anyway, I had previously told her, Dave's fact checking. I had previously told her.
I can tell you that's not right. She black belted you.
So I had previously told her about, like, earlier in the day, the Paris story that I just told. So I said, "Ricardo, luncho," and he like nods and he turns his forklift around and he heads to the break room. And
No, definitely not.
and
Yeah.
she says, "Congratulations, you're bilingual like your daughter." I said, "Yeah, okay,
That's awesome.
yeah."
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, no. The way to say it and him understanding it are just two different things. He's had so many people say luncho, Ricardo.
Luncho, Ricardo, luncho, and point to the break room. It was all context clues. He had no idea what I was saying. And I do that with Spanish. Like there's a lot of, because there's so many words that are similar enough that I can pick up a little thing. Yeah, I can't say that.
It's whatever that is. Let me see.
Alma's, I don't know.
That's definitely luncho.
All right. Yeah, that's luncho. There we
It
go.
works. He understood.
Yeah, he did. He went to lunch.
That's the point.
That's all I was wanting. Was just
Look, if I don't know the name of a Kimura, but I can show you where to put your hands in music, like, yeah, take his hand, put it behind his back, put your hands together. Good?
Absolutely.
Is it racist for him to add
I think so. I think slightly. But
maybe.
again, if they get it, like, that's the point. Whether it was racist or not was not really not her problem, really.
It's kind of like
Look,
using
Mark
emojis,
saying it.
right?
Ricardo.
Using what?
Emojis.
Yeah.
It's not words, but it works. It's communication. It's communication, man.
He went to the break room.
I may not go to everywhere and use, hey, Jose, luncho.
He went to the break room with all of the other Hispanics that work there, and he's like, "You believe what that gringo just said to me out there to tell me to go to lunch?" Yeah, the big one told me luncho.
Big one told me luncho again. Yeah, he thinks luncho is the way to tell us things.
That would be the funny thing about that whole interaction is the after comments.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Be a fly
between
on the
them,
wall.
and being able to understand what they're saying and
know,
talking about you.
I'm so envious of people that are bilingual, but more than that, like I think about like Melania Trump. They said she knows like I think 5 or 6 languages.
Yeah.
Fluently.
Yeah.
That is
that's pretty wild.
incredible. I mean, I
Yeah.
cannot imagine unlocking my brain. And everybody has the capability.
Yeah.
It's just what you're immersed in.
So there's a guy that works for us. He works on the dock. He loads trailers is all he does. His name is it's William. He goes by Willy.
Willie O.
Oh, Willy.
Oh, Willy.
That's Old Man Williams.
Willie, yeah, old man Will's boy. He speaks Spanish, English well, English, Spanish, Haitian, French, and like 2 other languages.
Damn.
How? I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I guess if you lived abroad,
Yeah, so
because you're
he's-
not going to learn that sitting in a classroom.
No. And he
No,
it's
it's like,
these cultural diverse communities abroad. Yeah, and he's learned all of it. Like he can speak Haitian French. He can speak because we have a large population of Haitians and the difference it's funny the differences between groups, because the most Hispanics that don't understand you, they'll just keep looking at you. For us, my experience is they'll just keep looking at you while you keep trying to say luncho. But the Haitian group that we have, they will say yes to everything.
Oh, yeah.
Anything that you say.
See, I get that out of
say
Spanish
yes.
guys. They'll
Yeah,
just be like,
no, the Spanish.
Yeah. I'll try to sell them something.
Yeah, they'll just, the Spanish guys just look at me.
Really?
When I'm trying to talk to, and I know some of them
See,
understand.
but they're on the clock. They're just trying to eat up time.
They figured it out.
My guys, I'm like, they're like, they'll point at something, and I'll point at like a product, and they'll be like, yeah, and I'll go to get them, and then they'll point at the thing again, and I'm like, well, this, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, the fuck you say yes for?
You said yeah, yeah. We had a manager from another area come over, and they they came back to us, and they were like, hey, we told Bidry to do this, and he understood. And Marlon said, no, he didn't. He had no idea what you said. He did not. She said, go back and see if he's doing what you told him to do. And he absolutely was not. He's like, but he told me yes. It's like, yeah, he doesn't understand you. So he's just going to say yes.
He's
Yeah.
just going to
He's
be
going to
like,
say yes to everything.
Yeah.
I think if you had that kind of ability, if you could speak 4 or 5 different languages, I mean, you could just about name your price in the business world.
Yeah, because you can be an interpreter for a bunch of shit.
Willie is so, he is worth 2 associates for us.
But he runs a forklift.
No, he just manually loads furniture. He just works on the dock, just lumping.
Well,
Shut up.
Maybe I spoke too soon.
Don't steal Willie from me, Jeff.
I'm not. I'm just saying
Don't
that
steal his Willie.
Don't steal my Willie.
Leave his Willie alone. Put his Willie down.
Willie is obviously the smartest, dumbest person I've ever known. If he's manually loading trucks and he can speak 3 languages,
No, it's more than 3.
4,
It's
whatever.
It's like 4, maybe even 5.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he could
missed the
literally-
mark. Yeah.
was from Serbia and lived in Denmark.
Yeah, he could be making way more than he's making.
Yeah, I feel like if you at least can learn another language at all, you have like a process in your head for
To unlock it.
learning. Yeah.
Imagine if you had the ability to speak like Chinese and Russian.
Is it Chinese or is it like Mandarin?
It's Mandarin, but well, actually,
There's a couple.
yeah,
there's
a couple, yeah.
several.
Most of it's Mandarin.
Right. There's different dialects for Spanish. Mm-hmm.
There's actually a lot of different dialects under the Chinese banner.
Right.
But I'm just saying, imagine if you were able to speak, a couple of those big ones like Chinese or Mandarin and like Russian. I mean, can you imagine like your abilities like in the government world? If you, God, dude, you could.
Oh, if just speaking Spanish, like, well, yeah, that too. But
there's a lot of people that
especially
can
if you
speak
don't tell
Spanish.
anybody. You know, don't tell anybody and just be like, listen, yeah. Luis being able to be bilingual is part of why he's good at his job. Part of how he
You
got
ever
in.
talk to him?
Yeah, I messaged him this week.
Okay, how's he
Yeah.
doing?
Doing good. Trying to avoid knee surgery.
Hey, the black belt way.
Is he still training at?
He's still teaching up at Knuckle Up.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I met a wrestler that wrestled with the Heltons. I think maybe Crawford collegiately, and Adam something. Supposed to be pretty good. Yeah, actually, he's wrestled in the same room as like Pat Downey, guys
Wow.
like that.
Okay.
It's about a 45 or 55 or somewhere in there. Met him down at Headliners, but he lives in Douglasville, so I sent him out that way.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's cool.
Luis.
Oh, yeah.
So
Want to do MMA? Is he an MMA guy?
I don't know.
grapple.
I don't know. He's one of those wrestlers that
Some of them
are
you
pretty
can't pin
good.
him
It's
down.
like
Yeah.
I'm not super like. Yeah, like around he wrestled with the Heltons. Yeah. Oh no, he hasn't been there yet. Yeah, he hasn't been there. I recommended them to him. I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, I choked him. I choke most wrestlers. I'm really not
It's easy to choke wrestlers.
super impressed when a wrestler comes in. I used to put a lot into it, but the drop-off rate for them motherfuckers is the same as just a regular dude off the street. They understand the work that's ahead of them, so they
For a
look down the
different reason.
line.
Yeah,
And they
it's-
can't stand not being good.
Yeah.
So they look down the line and they're like, oh, that's a lot of work. I don't want to do that. Or they're like, I'm going to get better at this. And then they dive into it. So, which isn't much different from, as far as like drop off rate or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's not much different than the average dude on the street, to be honest.
No, it's weird. You would think, like the love of wrestlers in jiu-jitsu a few years ago just hit like this all-time high when Nicky Rod started doing really well as a blue belt. Everybody's like, ooh, wrestlers. It's like this new shiny toy. And then you get into it and you start finding some and they quit just as fast as everybody else.
Yeah.
And the learning curve, it's just like, no, Nicky Rod was a freak. He's just an anomaly.
Was he a collegiate wrestler?
Yeah, D3 though.
Yeah, he wasn't even
top tier.
But sometimes
wrestler.
that's what you want, because for what it takes to be like a top tier wrestler, like they're too far that way. It's hard to bring him back. It's hard to take like a Bo Nickel and make him adapt to other things. That's why they adapt to MMA so much easier.
Yes.
Because they can anti-jiu-jitsu and they can punch you in the face.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Plus they know how to grapple their asses off.
Yep.
So
Yep.
they can just keep it where they, stay on top and beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, it's weird, but everybody's figured it out now. They're like, wrestlers. You have to wrestle. Like,
You definitely have to
gotta
wrestle. Yeah.
So, the training piece of the wrestling, adding wrestling, that's what's happened is they've realized that you have to add wrestling into your training.
Well, and you have to adapt. You have to adapt into your program. Some of the same methods that wrestling rooms use.
Yes.
Shorten the rounds. Even between like some of how you like present your technique. The amount of volume. And then, but like I said, there's not that many wrestlers. Like you do have to do all these things, but there's not that many that make it past blue either.
No.
No. You'll see them on the comp scene, and where Nogi's evolved, especially, like you have to be able to wrestle jitsu.
Yeah,
you have to be able to wrestle for jiu-jitsu.
It's easy to get them to a blue belt level where they're really good at a blue belt level. It's hard to keep them through that and get them into the technique that's required to go purple, brown, black.
Yeah.
Because the technique level of it.
Well,
it's hard.
It's why you're seeing this whole we're going to change the culture of jiu-jitsu fucking talk. Like,
shut up.
I'm just saying that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. They're saying we're going to change it. It's because you don't want to make it a black belt. You want to say that, I can, whatever, dude. So you submitted upper belts or something, or you jumped into an ADCC as a blue belt and got silver because you beat black belts. Cool deal. Keep competing against those guys.
Yeah, see what happens.
But, keep competing. That's fine. But that still doesn't get you a black belt.
No.
Like, that's just a part of it. Like, competition is just a part of it.
Yeah.
And you're not choosing lineage. You're not.
I really don't like the clickbaity blue belt submits a black belt post stuff. I don't like it.
It's kind of a one-off type thing. I mean, it's.
And even if it's not, even if whoever the blue belt is really good, I think it diminishes, what the work they put in too by like this flash in the pan blue belt, blue belt subs black belt.
It doesn't mean that guy's better.
It doesn't. It just for that moment he got caught.
He got lucky in that one moment.
That's better in what sense?
Yeah,
and on that competition day
in that moment. The three of us, and Dave's not on camera, but he's in the studio listening to the conversation. The three of us have been submitted by guys that are much lower belts than us because we put ourselves in bad positions, and sometimes you just get caught. Sometimes you just
not in combat.
Well, no,
not in competition.
Nobody
submitted me.
You ever competed against a blue belt in competition as a black belt?
No.
Yep. See, there you go.
Why would I? I'm a black belt.
Exactly
bitch. Right. Get your black belt.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's so many factors.
And now look, there's a difference between competing a couple times a year because you enjoy it and all this and that,
Yes.
and then what's to be expected from a professional athlete.
Yes.
Like if there's a professional athlete and then black belt level hitter, top 25 in the world, and some blue belt comes along and submits him, it's like, oh, holy shit, like this kid's an up and comer. But he still got to go through it.
I think I have a decent analogy for it. Okay, so if you have a 18-year-old stud baseball player, right, who just graduated high school, is may go to college for a year or two, may go straight to the pros where he's going to go through rookie ball and all that. Stud pitcher, and then you have a 40-year-old retired MLB, 45-year-old retired MLB player. And you're like, ooh, this pitcher struck out this retired Major League Baseball player. Well, yeah, because he's 45 now.
He ain't shit.
Yeah. Well, he was a Major League Baseball player. And I think when they do that blue belt subs black belt, I think it diminishes the respect that should be given to guys that have put in the time to be a black belt. Put in the time, learn the technique, been on the mat. If they're a legit black belt, I think there's a level of respect that should come to that. Both from the competitors that so I'm 45. If I decide to go compete at an 80cc event and I get submitted by a blue belt and the last thing that I want is somebody trying to put me as a poster child of, oh, is he really a black belt? Because those are all the comments that come when you do that. When you do that clickbaity stuff. Well, he doesn't look like a black belt to me. Black belt shouldn't get caught by that technique. A black belt shouldn't do that. And that's just dumb. And it doesn't help. Talk about culture. It doesn't help the culture of jiu-jitsu. It doesn't help the culture of what we're trying to do. It doesn't make black belts want to compete more. Unless you're that top tier pro level black belt, it makes you want to say, "Oh, I'll compete against other black belts." That's it.
Right.
I'm not going to go out and put myself out there as against a stud blue belt that's up and coming and trying to really dive in there and is training 2 times a day and 7 days a week and might even be juiced up and all these other things and is a stud. I'm not going to go out there because what does it benefit me?
I don't know. It's it is tough, but if you're just a black belt, and and you see it too, if you're just a black belt and you really don't care and you like to go compete and all that, and you see them at tournaments, they'll go against anybody. They don't really care what the outcome is,
Yep.
That guy doesn't deserve to be thrown on a highlight reel like he ain't shit.
No.
All right, for example, and this isn't a knock because y'all have knocked him before, but Breck Steele, okay? Breck Steele is a local guy to the Southeast.
Yep.
He's he's legit black belt and has competed a lot.
Has his own school.
Has lost.
Yep.
Now in the past couple years, he's definitely done a lot better.
Yep.
But has lost a lot.
Yep.
Doesn't stop him from competing. Doesn't diminish him. And honestly, I'm
no respect.
I got more respect to him because he's just never quit. I don't give a shit about that blue belt who, I don't know any blue belts that submitted him. I know one that about, he kind of cheated a choke on, but whatever. But I'm not knocking him, but he, I don't give a shit about some blue belt. That saying, say a blue belt did submit him, but that guy doesn't train anymore.
Right.
Breck's still here.
Yes,
he's still
that's
training.
exactly right.
He's still putting his body through it. He's still teaching. He's still influencing students.
He's still running an
I think
academy.
he's still doing a lot.
I think it also comes down to the fact that, like you said, you got to understand too that in today's age of clickbait and who can get the most likes and who can get the most subscribes, people will sell out anything. They will exploit anything to get more likes, more hits, more money, whatever it takes. They don't care how stupid it is. They don't care how cheesy it is.
100% sure.
So they're going to do whatever it takes to get you to hit that like button. So I think at the end of the day, and I can't say this because I'm not a black belt, but if I were and I'm in your shoes, I kind of take the approach of, fuck it. Who cares? I don't care what you say about me. You can say what you want to. And who cares if you're a blue belt and you did hit a heel hook on me? Doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
I'm still a black belt, dude.
Absolutely.
I still put the time in to get there.
And that's the way it should be. But then you have these guys that are, purely jiu-jitsu. Their model for a business is just pure jiu-jitsu, right? Mm-hmm. And they put so much on it. They don't try to build people up. Which is their thing. I don't know that, if I were to go, 1,000 miles away from here and open up another Integrity or something that I was just going to run, Like, I don't know that I wouldn't just run it with my product and my classes like I do here, just down to just my stuff, right? Here we have more than one instructor, and everybody has their take, and that's how we like to do things, right? But some of these guys, their model, and the pure jiu-jitsu model, I don't know is really that successful anymore, because you have to put so much on your product, and especially if you're not a world champion or anything. If you've only got, say, 25, 30 students, or say you got 50 students and they're all adults, we're not even, just count the adults.
Yep.
And you go out and you compete, and you've built yourself up this whole time selling privates and selling gis and selling this brand and, us and all this stuff. And like, you're building yourself up in the room as like this super badass. And then you go out there and get submitted by a lower belt at all, even though it may have been just a should have zigged when you should have zagged kind of thing. You diminished your product right then and there, and people stop believing you because you haven't been doing you haven't been real with people. You haven't been, put yourself out there in a way where, you're being realistic about it. Like,
But if you go back, that's none of that, what you just said, and none of that is what jiu-jitsu originally was designed to be.
Absolutely not.
And it was not created, or I don't know who created it. I don't know if it was the Gracies or it was before.
That goes far
right.
back.
But
it's grappling at that point.
But it was not created to be a moneymaker. It was not created to be a brand. It was not created to sell sweatshirts and to create an online presence.
No, the Gracies built the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brand.
So the fact that
little
these
guy
guys
beats the big guy.
The fact that these guys have taken this martial art and this skill, and they're making a commercialized marketplace out of it. Well, guess what? If something backfires, that's your damn fault because you put your eggs in that basket.
Absolutely, 100%. And what's changed is, and I'm not talking about like the gold rush era of jiu-jitsu gyms, right? Like the early Alliance days, the Gracie Baja days, the Travin days, the Atos, all that stuff where, you had the guys coming out of the late 90s into the 2000s.
Yeah, 25 years ago.
Right, yeah. Those people, that's a different model because they were in early, Now, if you see somebody, say, that comes out of a major academy like that's international, that wants to open up a school, maybe they've won some, won worlds or something like that. They've got enough titles to where, because you can go just run it up and nobody really know who you are. They have to go to like a market that's nobody's at, right? So they end up in Milwaukee, whatever the fuck, or something like that, or Wisconsin somewhere. Or 10 Planet guys did the same thing, except they just did it different, where you started seeing 10th Planet gyms pop up in like rural areas everywhere.
Yeah.
And they just played the long game on it. They, survived for a long time, and, there's nobody else out there. There's no other jiu-jitsu, no other competition. Those days, I think, are slowly going away. Like, I think that original model of, because for one, unless you're willing to go nomad, right? That's kind of was my point, was like, unless you're willing to go nomad and you're willing to, uproot your family and like, or you don't have a family and you just want to go far into like a different market where you can soak it up, right? And that's not a bad plan. Like, then it kind of works, but then, if you keep doing all the same things that we just talked about, like, one day you're going to get exposed if you start building yourself up to be something that you're not. Like, just be real with people, just teach them jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But the ones that have stood the test of time, weirdly enough, are like these older programs like Creighton MMA. Like these old MMA, or like the Artillas, I'm strictly Atlanta, guys, right, that I'm talking about. But, those seem to have stood the test of time because they just kind of do their thing. And both of them are very successful outside of jiu-jitsu, right? Agogi's another one, but they started breaking into MMA and started building UFC guys. Fight Sports is another one, but they do strength and conditioning, and they've got, that kind of model is different because they have a bunch of hands in the pot, right? They've got a bunch of partners. And
I think what I'm getting at too, though, is if your whole business model is I'm the best
right,
because I'm a black belt and I'm unbeatable and my stuff's the best, you are just a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, which
Because
used to work. Used to
It used to work.
Used to
Because
work
was
like
the
that.
model.
You had the aura.
Yeah, that
at
was the
some
model.
point, there's going to be somebody that's going to catch you when you
Yes.
should have zigged and
Right.
zagged, and somebody's going to snap you off.
Whether it's father time
Right.
or
So does that mean that you're just no good? No.
Right, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
That same thing happened to us when we were really young in our jujitsu, our jujitsu lifespan journey. Yeah, there we go. We've seen it. Kyle and I have seen it. Dave and I have. We've seen that.
We've all seen that.
The black belts that set themselves on this super high pedestal,
Hook, line, and
as
sinker, boy.
soon as you catch them with something, they get pissed. They're so mad they can't handle it. They come right back at you. It almost turns into a violent fight.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about like a cheeky tit for tat, right?
No,
like,
yeah,
if one of our guys catches me on something slick, I'm like, all right, motherfucker,
here
I'm
we
gonna get you.
go.
Yeah,
No,
I'm talking about like almost.
Immediately.
Degrade you over it and then try to kill you over it. Like, try to
immediately.
whoop your ass over it. Like, they got a problem with you now because you're affecting their money. You're affecting. It's almost personal to them at that point.
Get on you so hard that you pull back your bite.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they do. You do pull back. Yeah. Yeah. One of the realest things Jonathan Collins ever told me was like, when you stop respecting that belt so much, you'll be a better grappler. He doesn't mean like how some of these assholes are at fucking New Breeds and Nagas now, like disrespectful.
No,
he's like, just don't put it on such a pedestal to where it's hindering you.
Right,
like it's about what you can do and what you can't do, and if you can't do something, learn how to do it better.
Yeah, and that's what's really cool about in here in our room is because
that's our lineage.
There is training here, and there's respect here for the black belts. We there's a ton of respect. I've never felt disrespected by any of our lower belts here, but I've also I was on the mat in the gi for the first time probably in a couple months on Monday, and rolled with a blue belt. Dylan here.
Dylan's here, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
He's here right now.
Yeah.
Open mats in 20 minutes.
and I, Dylan, he's like, hey, you want to roll? Very opportunistic of him.
All of them are.
No, yeah, just it was like chum in the water. And he tries to wrist lock me a couple times. He tries to do the Evan Green, fake guard sit takedown a couple times, and he ended up getting smashed. But anyway,
see, like it's like, oh, you little motherfucker.
Yeah,
but
that's
I'm gonna
it
smash you
wasn't-
for that. But it's not like I'm disrespected.
No, I didn't get angry and try to hurt him, and that's what happened when we were young.
Yeah.
If you did that to if you tried to wrist lock a black belt as a blue
lock
belt
one?
or foot lock
one, they get
did
real
it,
pissed.
They get especially back then when heel hooks and foot locks were very taboo.
See, I just don't think of jiu-jitsu
they
as
got
having that kind of.
pissed.
We were told not to do footlocks.
Yeah.
See, and I don't
Grab that mic.
I don't think of jiu-jitsu as having that type of arrogance. You know what I mean? Because to
Well,
me,
it
that's
doesn't here
arrogance.
because you've never seen it.
See, that's
it's
the
never
two
been part
things,
of you,
though.
which,
But see,
which is good for us.
That's where that's the crazy conundrum right there. Is like you had that kind of stuff, but then when you would go to tournaments and everything, like people were pretty respectful.
That's true.
Like I remember a couple tournaments back, it was mostly with like kids and youth and all that, and the blue belt coach was arguing with the dad that was coaching his kid that neither one of them knew what the fuck they were talking about, and the ref was all right, I guess. But I ended up turning and looking at one dude I didn't even know. I said, man, these things used to be fun. Like this used to be a good time. People used to be cool to each other. This used to be, you could. I remember seeing one parent one time. They were letting their kid run off and all this and that, and which I mean, the kid wasn't like a little kid or anything, and guy looked at him. He's like, "Oh man, this is probably the safest place that he could be." This is at like Cobb Civic Center. I remember looking. I was like, "Buddy,
No.
somebody's lying to
Yeah.
you. These are
Yeah.
just people, bro. Like,
Yeah.
dude, don't go get your kid. Like, if you
Yeah.
can't see him
Yeah.
from here, go get him.
go-
But please, please,
Go find your kid.
Okay, because there's some fucking douchebags walking around here.
Yeah, absolutely.
That shit's that's what you're getting. But that's what I'm saying. Back then, you had that people that abused it, but there was like this pecking order that seemed to keep the philosophy in check. where people were more respectful and all this. Like, now you got everybody trying to be Gordon Ryan and fucking be outlandish and fucking, start some shit on the mat. And they want to be a clip and all this. Shut the fuck up and train and compete and go back to your job on Monday, Eric. Like, fucking relax, okay? That's like these biker supporter groups that go out on the bar on the weekend, pretend to be Sons of Anarchy.
Because they got their cut.
They got their cut on. Like, you ain't no 1%er.
Wild hogs.
You're no 1%. You're going back to your desk job on Monday. Shut the fuck up.
You paid somebody to sew your patches on.
That's what I'm saying. All those same people. And I can't tell if it's the academies or if it's the tournaments or if it's both. But, like, all I see is a bunch of angry people that have been sold left and fucking right, trying to justify. You know what I'm saying?
You're not wrong.
Y'all came in here and paid $100 to walk in, right? These other people, you've been overpaying. Like, you walked in on day one, you overpaid on a membership. You had to buy a gi and a rash guard and all this stuff, plus 10 privates to even walk in the door. You know what I mean? We sell privates, we sell memberships and all that, but we try to be fucking reasonable.
Yeah.
The bills have to be paid. That's about where it works.
Yeah.
At what point are you sacrificing your integrity over it, and you're becoming a gimmicky fucking McDojo, watering down your shit, handing out belts like karate dojos in Bremen, Georgia, you cunts. fucking a belt promotion every 2 months. You know who I'm talking about. I'm not even gonna go to all the members that have been coming to me over you. It's ridiculous.
Just gonna let it
Hang
go.
it the fuck up already, all right? I'm not gonna gym store you like my predecessor, but just hang it up already. You got brown belts that can't fall down and get up. All right. Jesus Christ. Are we on the tap out? Is that where you? That's my tap out.
We're there.
That's my tap out. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, we're there.
Wow.
And with that,
Do better. Do better.
yeah.
Do better, gym owners.
Yeah, and with that, Mark and I have tapped out.
It's a fucking. You're doing all of us a disservice, and I'm just some stupid ass Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I'm just a fucking idiot over here. But you're not helping us by doing that, okay? You're not, all you little gym owners that are just upselling, you're just watering down the fucking sport, the art, and y'all keep saying sport all the time. Sport is like this much of what we're fucking doing, okay? You're watering it down, and you're making us all look bad. You're making us look like a bunch of iron fist cocksuckers. Get your shit together and have some integrity, dick. It's my tap out.
We'll see you on the next episode.
What is happening? What just happened?
That liquid IV, bro.
Somebody needs
We are done.
I forgot to tell you all about that one.
We're done. We'll see you on the next episode.
We love you. We love you guys.